Hello, hi everyone. Today we'll do revision for the chapter 6 to chapter 12. Chapter 6 is on sustainability and green building practices, and 7 is on some introduction on 4.0. Industrial 4.0, 8 is on digital twin and simulation, 9 will be on data analytics and intelligent decision making, 10 is on safety, security, risk management, and industrial practices and compliance. So 12 is more of the future trend, um, which I believe some of you has actually kind of went through. For this revision, it will kind of a key point rather than me kind of talking you directly straight, but this will be a key point that you can actually see and then kind of work through this with what's the kind of coverage. Chapter 6 is about sustainability and green building practice. So for this whole objective is to understand the principle of sustainability and various spaces of the practices for green building. So it actually help us to know a little bit about what is sustainability about, what is the green building about, and then part of it, right? The smart FM portion will be inside so that we can kind of understand where is it coming from and how we can actually leverage that for kind of practices. So with that, we will go into the sustainability practices. So for sustainability practices, we little bit talk about the scope of the sustainability practices, the green building certification, and some of the renewable energy solution and efficiency strategy. So the whole idea for green building practices is to make sure your building is kind of suitable to live in a way that it is much energy efficient. It has some sustainability principle, and then it actually has built on to a green building certification. At your revision, you will need to share and thoughts a little bit about what are the sustainability practices in the green building. Share a little bit about the green building certification, Gold Plus, Platinum, SLEB, super low energy building, and then talk about some of the renewable energy solution, which is they call it RE, and then some of the EE, which is the energy efficient strategy. So with that, sustainability practices also talks a little bit about water conservation. Part of the energy conservation and water conservation is also kind of important. So with that, the sustainability materials is also kind of in part of the whole sustainability practices. So with that, we also want to talk a little about some of the indoor quality environmental quality management so that we can see from the internal quality or indoor quality, right? What are the environment that is suitable. And of course, green building also talk about waste management, how you sustain the waste, how you manage the waste. So this will be kind of the important things about green building practices for chapter 6. So in short, we kind of need to understand that. Chapter 7 is the more difficult chapter. It will actually talk about Industrial 4.0. And for Industrial 4.0, the whole learning objective is want you to know about the impact on the facility management using Industrial 4.0. So for Industrial 4.0, what you need to learn is about the definition of 4.0, how 4.0 is used as part of your work. Of course, I'll also ask you about what is 5.0 and how you will be able to kind of leverage and trends to a 5.0. And we talk a little bit about the key technology, robotics, of how Industrial 4.0 is going to enhance you. So this is kind of the part one of it. And of course, some of you may actually has come across impact on the facility management of using the Industrial 4.0. So with that, it is basically understanding of how 4.0 could actually impact your facilities. And of course, one of the things that I actually try to make use of or try to talk a little bit more is the integration over physical cyber security system, which is kind of important of how physical cyber security system will be a part of the Industrial 4.0. So those key points will be kind of asked in kind of your common tests. Yeah. So with that, we want to talk a little bit about the second part of Industrial 4.0. So for smart manufacturing and automation, Industrial 4.0 plays a little bit on that. And automation especially, we get the automation knowns from what we want to kind of work on. And of course, the data exchange and connectivity, how you actually collect data is being collected. Some of the cybersecurity consideration that is also important in part of the 4.0. So, and then the future trend and challenge. So these are kind of the key points, especially on the data exchange and connectivity. I'll definitely ask you about this, and also some of the cybersecurity consideration. This will be coming out, and it's kind of critical in terms of the smart facilities, in terms of the cybersecurity. So with that, we go to chapter 8. So chapter 8 talks a little bit about digital twin and advanced simulation. So digital twin is the whole idea to have a twin, and the concept of exploring the twin using advanced simulation tactics. So to actually kind of work on to able you to translate what is real to more digitally. So the whole idea is to have a digital twin, and we explore some of the concept of digital twin. So with that, I introduce some digital twin to you. You should be able to know how to use your digital twin to work on some stuff, right? So there's some idea of digital twin, and the application of digital twin in facility management. We have block 34. You play around with it, and I'll ask some application. What are the application? For example, like energy efficiency, or what are the ways to actually reduce operation? And then of course benefits of a digital twin, and some advanced simulation tactics that you will be kind of asked in the digital twin. Yeah, so with that, the other part is also on the simulation, I mean the real-time integration of digital twin. We do have a case study in block 34, and how we actually use digital twin to kind of work through our case study, measure floor area, measure power, etc. And then future development of digital twin, what will happen, and some of the challenges and solution. So digital twin will cover kind of these few aspects. Yeah. So chapter 9 talks about data analytics and intelligent decision making. So we understand the roles of data analytics and intelligent decision making within the FM. So how we uses data to make sure that it is understandable, and then we make decision of that. So with that, four key points in chapter 9 is about data analytics. So important of data analytics in FM, why do we use that, why is it important? And then we learn this in your year one of data analytics and descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive kind of maintenance, and of course some of the data analytics that will be used. And then we use some data to collect and then to do some measurements. Key performance indicator, this is also shared in industrial 4.0, but basically how do we use the informations or the key performance indicator to make a good decision. Yeah, and then I will also try to kind of circle the questions around predictive maintenance, decision making modeling, and data security and privacy, and some of the tools and software that's used in data analytics and intelligent decision making. So this will be kind of tested basically for chapter 9, and how we actually uses that to do, as mentioned, some predictive maintenance using data to kind of work on that. Yeah. So with that, now chapter 10 is about security and risk management. The objective is about learning about safety, security, and risk management in the FM world. So chapter 10 talks about safety regulations and standards. So you need to know some safety regulation, then we'll ask you about some safety concerning questions, and of course what they call that, regulation and risk assessment and management. So at the emergency preparedness, and of course some of the security and access system on the control. Yeah, so with that, safety and security and risk management also talk about occupational health and safety, how occupational health is important to the environment, and then safety and evacuation plan, of course, some environmental health safeties and case study. So chapter 10 not only talks about the digital piece of it, the smartness of it, but it also needs to bring this into a safety and security aspect of it. So finally, 11, we share a little bit about industrial standards and compliance. There are different compliance and standard. I kind of push that up. So we understand a little bit of industrial standards and some of the compliance requirement. So for industrial standard, I will share with you, or I will ask you about overall industrial standards. What does it mean? Some of the ISO standards, some of the American disability kind of regulation and compliance, some of the data protection. So what the industry is trying to do so that there has a certain standard to it, and then how do we comply to that? Then industrial standards is about some of the safety standards, regulation, compliance, and importance of the adherence. I will also I've also shared a little bit about the industrial standards, right? Like buying t-shirt, what are the sizes difference. So in the range of the test, I'll ask you about like case studies. How do you use industrial standards to make sure that certain area or certain things you are buying are compliant? So with that, we move to the very last chapter, which is quite interesting in a way. It is about future trend of FM and smart building. You explore a little bit about facility management, about what is the smart building about, and then you kind of work that through as a future trend. So those will be kind of the stuff that we are looking at. And then there will be some questions on how do you think, or what do you think about the future trend in the facility management and smart building. So with that, you will share a little bit about emergency technology in FMM, what the sustainability trend, talk a little bit about either solar or some of the generation like H2 generations, some smart building technology like optimization that I show you some of the possibility displacement cooling, and then of course some integration with IoT, how this could actually be part of the future trend itself. And then finally, we will talk a little bit about the role of AI and machine learning, how that this kind of help the FM industries to be much better, and then definitely some energy management systems, which will enable you to be a little bit more better, smarter in the future, and how is the future ready for this type of infrastructure. And of course, some questions will be asked like challenges and opportunity. How can we actually use this as part of opportunity and challenges? So with that, basically that is the whole idea for the few chapters, and then can review this through again or set some mock test questions based on that, very similar to what you will be doing, but of course questions will not be repeated. And then do well in terms of your cheat sheet, so that we do cheat sheet some of the pointers. It's impossible to write everything in, but the key thing is to understand the guideline and then fill that in. Okay, so with that, we'll touch base again, and I'll see you again. All right, have a good day.